Now, in order to ensure that the two aspiration has breadth and depth, we now dive deeper into the round table session. These are the 4 items that the round table will discuss and go into breakout rooms. So it will be relevant stakeholders, and relevant stakeholders can be defined as members of IMCs, potential new IMCs, like Nick just now mentioned about Indonesia and Malaysia as members of IMC. And other stakeholders can be at international level, the Asian Development Bank, or any other agencies, or any other stakeholders that come to mind. The next item would be approach to achieving aspiration, activities with impact and resources needed, be it financial or manpower resources. So again, you will break up into rooms. Each room will appoint a representative to share feedback like what you have just done. But you are supposed, each room are supposed to discuss the 4 items, all right? So can you please take note of the 4 items and appoint a representative, please, to report back again. Okay? So now, Kuzaima, can we bring everyone into the breakout rooms, please? Welcome back, everyone. Thank you very much. I've been to some of the groups and all the rooms actually, and I can see there were active participation from all members. Who would like to volunteer first?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank for our group members to contribute different ideas on those 4 points. So regarding the relevant stakeholders, there are so many actually. As Lydia, you have said about that, is about the members of the IMCs, those potential new IMCs countries like Indonesia and Malaysia. Of course, there should be more as well. And also government agency is also very important, but we need to be focused, maybe like those finance and treasury departments, because they set policies on that, which are more related to the management consultancy. Also for the NGOs, if they have international favors, that could be another very important stakeholders. Others include universities, because we can collaborate with them, and also there are many young people there to become our future potential management consultant as well. And then we need to engage with different professional organizations, especially like those accounting organizations like CPA, CA. They have do so many management consulting work, so we must engage this kind of stakeholder. Of course, IT, lawyers, there are many. We hope we could make use of different kind of methods like training, internships, or what other methods to engage them. Of course, we need to promote to them as well. So this is about the relevant stakeholders. For the approach to achieving the aspirations, we have many aspirations, but actually we need to identify those critical aspirations to focus on this year first, which are the most important one. So maybe each time we have 2 to 3 to focus on should be sufficient. Other than that, before we advocate those aspirations, the value propositions, both international and the locals, are very important, because for each local countries or places, the institutes may have different, the countries or the cities might have different kind of local cultures. So for certain adaptations is also very important for our considerations. And then for the third one, about the activities with impact, we believe our certification and accreditation standards are very important, and this could, if we promote them, and we can collaborate with different kind of well-known institutions, we include CMC as a part of the curriculum. This kind of collaborations are of great impact on that. So we can leverage on our certifications to create our brand image, Of course, we can also arrange some hackathons for the policymakers to put our management consulting as a very important agenda as well. Other than that, we can collaborate with different institutions or research institutes or university to publish some research papers on management consultancies, because we can lead, we could be leader of that kind of research papers. We can contribute our experience, our knowledge on that. Other than that, we can write management consulting books, which help people to understand our CMC frameworks or some fundamental knowledge about our management consultancy. We should also invite more academic fellows to also bring in their ideas or contributions. So for this kind of this kind of activities or advocacy promotions, this could create different kind of impact to reach the people to the whole world. And for the resources we needed, we believe the ICMCI Academy to develop the CMC curriculum is very important for us to allocate our aspirations. So this kind of curriculum should include like the ISO 2700, ethics, governance, best practice, professional conduct, competency, value propositions, etc. So this kind of curriculum could help promote. If we have that kind of resources, that would be great. And also we can bring in resources from different national institutes, like to train the members there to become our trainers, or engage some local experts to develop the curriculum as well. Of course, for that kind of training, we can generate revenues. If we could promote to Big Four or other big companies with different industries to train their colleagues to become management consultant, to go through the CMC process. This could be another way to generate revenue. Of course, we can leverage our certifications on different kind of platforms to show our presence and brand value as well. Yes, I think these are the points we would like to share with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much, Alan. Can we now move on to the next representative, please?
Lem is going to kindly share the screen with our results. So I don't need to say too much because you can see what we considered already. I mean, yeah, like the first group, we identified a wide variety of stakeholders that we need to get in front of to get our name known. So government bodies, NGOs, big companies in the consulting industry, the local offices, large multinational companies in finance, manufacturing, and so on, and funding bodies. But within our community, then obviously there are consultants who are not yet members of institutes, are a major group of potential stakeholders, as well as our existing members, and then clients and prospective clients of management consultants. So an enormous number of stakeholders. In terms of the approach to achieving, then it's all very much about leveraging contacts within those stakeholder organizations and making our standards known on ethics and professional behavior and competence. And one of the specific activities mentioned is, if you like, an infiltration of those stakeholder bodies by getting our IMC members and hub members involved in those organizations, joining their committees or groups to actually get our name known from within those stakeholders, as well as pushing our name in from the outside. So we talked about consistent messaging both from ICMCI and then filtering down through the hubs, there was a feeling expressed that we try and communicate too much. Our website has got a lot of information, some of which is out of date, no longer relevant. We could probably rationalize and concentrate more on effective messages and make sure that they are well, I say well received, that there is a confirmation that they've been properly received and understood by the hubs and the hub members. And then in terms of resources, within the hub, within the IMCs, it's very much about identifying champions who are prepared to volunteer the human resource needed to make things happen. And I guess that could be one of the major messages coming out, is that we don't have financial resource, but we do have human resource. And we need to make sure that we can use that human resource by volunteer champions to help do the work. And I open it up to other members of the room now to contribute anything else specific that I might have missed out.
Thank you, Nick. Any other members who would like to add more information to this very well organized 4 topics? Anyone would like to add? If not, then I will move to the next discussion group. Next discussion group, please.
This is Abdullah representing Group 3.
Okay,
And
Abdullah.
we had Mr. Daniel from Hong Kong, Miss Margaret from Armenia, and Dr. Srivastav, Mr. Srinivasan, and myself from India. And Miss Lydia also have added few points in our discussion. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. I just want to bring few of the points that we have discussed. And the first thing that we have discussed was that we need to involve different stakeholders, starting from educational institution, the premium institutions, and the academia associated with them, and the research institution also included in it. And the second one is the government agencies. Already Armenia is doing wonderful job because of the ecosystem they have created. Because they have involved the tech ministry as well as the finance ministry and the other ministries of importance in their portfolio, and they come regularly to their public-private dialogues, which I think is a very important engagement that we need to do as a IMC in order to increase our visibility and the value addition that we can demonstrate to the different government agencies. And the third point was that demarcation, Alan brought this point, demarcation of the talent of people, different people that we have in the IMC, so that, we are able to connect the resources well and able to mobilize more stakeholders into our institution. The second point we discussed was about the approach to achieving this aspirations that we have outlined today. One of the things is that we need to connect with the council, different councils of the country, so that they are able to connect with us and able to achieve our objective through their aspirations as well. See, the country also has an aspiration. If we can show a relationship between our aspirations as the CMC and the country aspirations, then we will be able to show more impact to them. And that way we are able to achieve our aspirations. It is kind of connecting with their aspirations rather than just showing our aspirations. And the third thing we were talking about was that of having the impactful activities that we can do. And one thing Daniel brought in from Hong Kong is that hosting such conferences on a regular basis in different IMCs, so that we are able to show our visibility to the government, and as well as all the stakeholders can be attracted to the IMCs, and also the importance of ICMCI to the country where we are representing. Now, Ms. Lydia has brought one point that, in impactful activities, the government wanted to bring in more young people into the course. So what we can do, we can accept them in the initial stage with the micro certification before taking them to the next CMC certification. So it is a step-by-step approach that we can bring about, that can have an impact. We can show the impact to the government as well as to the aspirants who are joining the CMC bandwagon. And the last one is resources we were talking about. And Daniel brought one more point, that tangible and intangible resources. See, we all think that money is the main thing, and we need to focus on that money generation. And we can do that. Mr. Srivastava brought this point. So, first one is certification. Second one is having training for each of the stakeholder. Let's say, for example, industry, academia, and we can have different other untapped sectors that we can target to. Okay. And the second one is, Alan brought this point from Australia, that identifying and understanding who are the people in our team, because sometimes it has been seen that we are not able to capitalize the human potential or human intelligentsia that we have in our zones, so that we can maximize or optimize their availability with us in order to maximize the resources. So one is the intellectual capabilities the people have, and second one is monetary connections that each one of us can bring to the fore, donors that we can bring to the table. And if we can tap into that collective intelligentsia, the tangible and intangible, I personally feel we can do wonderful job. And that was the message that all of us, all the group 3 members were resonating with. Dr. Srivastava, if you want to add some more points, please go ahead, sir.
I shall now move to the last group. I think the last group, we have a
Myself.
few heavy. Yeah, Brendan, too.
Yeah, great.
Brendan.
Thanks so much. So we were a little bit down on our numbers with Group 4 in this last session. It was our chair, Robert Bodenstein, our host, Anush, and myself. So we had a lively discussion, and Lydia did join us for a time to challenge us and encourage us. Thank you. So we, without going over everything everyone else has already said, I'll try and add the little extra things that we discussed. Relevant stakeholders. So clearly we have our common challenge here in this space within our hub, our geographic hub. But I did want to add specifically the need to engage with other professional bodies. We, the management consulting profession, draw our members from all the other professional bodies. That's where we form our foundation as professionals in most cases. So I think that's a very important thing that we add there. And I made the point that some professions have more or less exposure to the framework of standards and that we're talking about in some of what we do. So we need to appreciate that and bring those along, and no doubt that some professions can give us extra insight into things that they specialize in. The other area that I thought that I'm adding to the discussion and adding a little bit was with the client marketplace, which can be external and internal, I think internal management consulting is a very important future direction, particularly for governments. But we need to understand the segmentation within those markets. And I mean, management consulting is a very diverse profession, but we need to understand the perspective of those different segments in the marketplace and communicate with them in a way that makes sense for them. What we did speak about within our hub, the great diversity that is between Australia and New Zealand all the way to China and Russia and everything in between. But yes, that diversity is a challenge, but let's turn that challenge into an opportunity. So let's focus on the opportunity that we have in engaging together around diversity. So with that in mind, then in terms of how we're going to achieve the aspirations that Robert has laid out to us within our geographic hub, again, with a focus on diversity as an opportunity, we just spoke around this topic and realized that language is a real genuine barrier. We've got language diversity, we've got culture diversity, we've got geopolitical differences. But at the core of everything is us working together to communicate with understanding. And the only way we can do that is genuinely listen and understand the perspective of another, and then share and learn from one another. So I think we need to set some foundation principles on the way we're going to engage together. And if we do that, then when we meet, when we engage, we will both contribute and get value out of that engagement. So taking that forward in terms of actual activities, we spoke around the concept of special interest groups, communities of practice, quite similar in their nature, but really it's just bringing people together around a topic of common interest. But then, from the special interest, that's of an interest, but the communities of practice, I like that terminology too, because it says we have to translate the interest into an outcome that's going to benefit our clients. And in that regard, it is the practice part that is going to achieve more for our clients. So, I put a few words together: community, collaboration, contribution, and competence. We should, I express that I like to contribute, and by contributing and being developed as part of that contribution. So it's contribution in, development out, and that's where the value is. So it doesn't have to be monetary, but we should all be not worn out by contributing in a volunteer way. There should be an ability to support one another towards being developed as well. In terms of the resources, so that touches on the resources side, we need to identify those champions that Nick explained. I think that's very important, but we don't want to wear out or burn out those champions. And so there's got to be something that they can take back from that contribution. That's why I do like the ISO 20700 model. But another area of resource which we need to build on is the sponsorship, the external organisations who want to engage and relate and be part of this conversation, even though they are not IMCs, even though they're not management consultants. But so we won't need sponsors that are going to contribute financially, but I think it's really important that we vet them, that we are able to partner with them in a way we have a common set of values. We don't want to dilute our professionalism. We want to enhance it. So we do have to be careful with our partners. And I suppose just finishing up then in terms of my summary is I think we need to just demonstrate professionalism in everything we do. We're here to represent the management consulting profession. We need to lead by example. And I think if we continue to do that, people are going to want to come and be part of this conversation. So I then invite either Robert or Anush to add anything to what I've just summarised.
Anything else? Any member would like to add what Brendan have actually explained a very extensive and honestly refreshing idea. Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks, Lydia.
Thank you. All right, then.
Just one point I want to add from our team, which we discussed. CSR funds could be a very good resource for not only to show to the show our impact to the country, but as well as to show IMCI as a body or IMC as a body, what kind of CSR we are doing in the country development. So that will add a value to the all the stakeholder, and it will be a great visibility factor. It will bring in, because the millennials today, they relate to the brands who are doing impactful work. So that will be an added advantage if we can tap into the CSR fund and do CSR activity as a IMCI body. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdullah. Many thanks for your valued contributions and appreciated your candor, your wisdom and patience to stay right to the very end.